Alright, welcome back to World War II Online. I'm just doing a little kind of intro video, just to show a friend of mine what this game's kind of about from the beginning here, and how to go about choosing where you start and all that stuff. And this is actually the starting window. Gives you a little message of the day, a whole bunch of mostly useless information, except for this. You'll see Axis forces overpopulated. That means there's going to be a spawn delay. That means if you should die, or when you want to choose a new piece of equipment, there'll be a delay before you can actually get into the game. But it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and choose what we want to play as. Americans are not in the game at the moment. They are in the game, but they come in at a certain time period, a certain year. I guess we haven't hit that point yet, so they're not in yet. There's German, French, and British. The French and the British are, of course, allied together, and they do have different unit types for each one, different tanks, different infantry weapons, different planes. French, in the later years, generally use American equipment. So in the beginning, they actually used the historical French vehicles, but of course the French weren't making any armaments towards the later part of the war, so they just use American stuff. So I'm going to choose my persona as Army. And then when you get to here, it'll show what the population is, how many people essentially are on each mission. You'll see all these ones down here are kind of tabbed out. That means there's no mission for those divisions. So 1st Panzer, 2nd Panzer, 27th Infantry Division. Panzer groups always have more panzers, more tanks, more armor, but they still have infantry, and even the infantry divisions still have armor, just quite a bit less. Now this is the map on the right here, and just gives you the ability to kind of scan the map to figure out where you are. This is a new map. That's why Americans aren't in, because apparently we must have won again. I haven't been on in a couple days, and we trounced them again by the looks of it. So we're starting over, unless the Allies pushed us back, but I highly doubt that. So this is basically the front line. You'll see all the towns with the red flag are German, all the towns with the British are British, and all the towns with the French flag are French. And that's how it will work. If you go in and you fight a British town, you'll expect to fight British forces, British tanks, and things like that. There's little symbols underneath the towns. You'll see here, I zoom in. What that means is that if the town is owned by you, if there's a little person symbol here, that means your EWS, its early warning system, has gone off. And if it's a red guy like this, that means there's more than 8 infantry, meaning your town's under heavy attack, essentially. If there's only less than that, then there'll just be, I think it's it'll be a black figure with a red outline. And the same goes with tanks. I'll try to find one with tanks. See this tank is black with a red outline. That infantry is black with a red outline as well. And that means there's light enemy detected in a radius around the town. So I mean, they might not be necessarily attacking the town. They could be even moving troops from a town in the back up to the front, or doing some sort of sneaky move around the town and triggering the EWS in a town they didn't even intend to. Sometimes they do it just to throw you off, just to add another layer of strategy to it, make you want to send defensive forces there, and they're not even attacking it. Just a fake, basically. Hal is under pretty heavy attack. I know my squad mates are talking in my ear right now. Just gonna reply. I can't type right now. My keyboard's off to the side and it's screwing me up. But yeah, so this gives you just an overview of what's happening and where it's happening. And how this really works is that you'll notice when I was saying that there's not missions for these towns down here. Well, I have a rank that allows me to make missions, but only if there's a division in the town. So, for instance, if I just mouse over this town and don't click anything, it says this town is German owned. There's a defense objective here. This town is contested, meaning the enemy have captured at least one facility. The enemy has been spotted near here, EWS, that's clear. But down here it'll say units, 27th Infantry Division, 27th 1, and 27th 3, which is an armor division in the infantry. In that division there's an infantry or armored group. So there's 2 units actively fighting there of that division. Some towns will have, like this one has 4th Panzer, and this one might even have another part of the 4th Panzer. So this is 4th Panzer .3, and this is 4th Panzer .1. So basically they're reserves. They're held in the back. They don't put them on the front line in case the town gets captured. You don't want to lose those troops or have them pushed out or uncontrollable. So you keep them in the back, ready to jump in there when they need. See, Waterloo has 4.2. Conde has 1.1 or 1.2. I'm sorry, and this one has 1.1, 1.3, and 2.6, which is actually a naval division. So it has a little navy symbol there, little anchor symbol, meaning there's navy there. It's not very big. It's not like destroyers or anything like these bigger towns can have, like these bigger deep ports can have, but they can have fair mills, basically small PT boats. We call them fair mill. I mean, they are called fair mills, but they're basically just a small PT boat. The towns with the airplane means it's an air base, and you can see when you zoom in, it shows from a distance, it looks like just an X, and when you zoom in, you can see it's a large airfield where you can land your planes. So just kind of scanning of the map, and all these decisions and where these divisions are moved are made by players who are in the high command. So you have to kind of earn your place to be in the high command, and then you can start making actual decisions, strategic decisions. So it becomes a real-time strategy game for those people. So instead of just commanding, computer artificial intelligence units that tell them, move here, move there, they're moving divisions and then setting missions for players to play in them. So they're actually using real-time strategy with real people. I've done the high command thing, but it wasn't in a state when I did it in such an early part of the game that there wasn't all this complexity, that there wasn't an actual resource flow. So like when a division gets, even when let's say we took this division out of Waterloo here, and we moved it into a town that had no division, it would take time for the resources to trickle into that town. It wouldn't just be automatically placed there. It would be as if the resources were traveling on trains or whatever. There's no trains in the game, but as if they were traveling there, and it would take time to get them all there. And resource flow is always from the back ranks. So if you look back here, our towns go quite far back. Some of these towns are actually factory towns. I don't think this is a factory town. I thought it might be because it looked pretty huge. This, not sure. It doesn't look like a factory town either. Trying to explain this, I'm not sure which towns have the factories. Needless to say, some of these towns in the back here are critical to the resource, to the R&D, the development of our. This looks more. Yeah, this is a factory town. See, large buildings in an area, and if you blow these factories up, and they can send bombers. If someone decides, an allied guy wants to fly a bomber from back here all the way over here, and he starts bombing our factory towns, he actually will hinder the development of our technology. So instead of getting the new tank on time, well, when the allies get theirs, we'll be late on that development. So, and all developments are decided by the high command. So let's say the high command really wants to push armor. Like, you know, our next development tech is going to be heavy on armor, and maybe not so much in air. So we'll get our new tank early. If they want to go air, they can put a heavy development into air. You know, whatever they think is going to benefit us the most. The Brits, they are over here with their factory towns. Like, this is one of their factory towns. I believe this is another one here. Yep, another one here. So that's quite a flight. I mean, if one of us Germans wanted to fly over there, it would be quite a long flight. That's why you generally don't do it unless you really want to spend a lot of time flying, because it is a big map, and that would take you, I don't know, might take you an hour, maybe longer, maybe a couple hours to fly across the ocean there. But it can be strategically important. I mean, if you take out their development and hurt how fast they develop new technologies, you're just going to put yourself that much further ahead. So it is a pretty powerful thing to do. I think that's kind of another thing here. I guess I want to say is that anything in the red is an attack objective. So any of these missions here that are red are offensive. Any of the green are defensive. So I'm going to actually, and if it has this little multi-soldier icon next to it, that basically means that I have squad members in that mission. So if I want to make sure I join my squad members, I can go there. Also, I can obviously talk to them on TeamSpeak, or there's a tab up here called Squads, which is very handy because people tend to move around, pop around different missions. If you really want to find somebody and follow them, click the Squad tab, click on the individual you want to follow, and then just click Join. And I can tell this guy is not actually in a mission. This guy is in a mission. He's in the HAL Army Base doing some defense. And I'm going to join them. I wasn't going to actually do a mission, but I can't help myself. I could make my own mission, but I'm just going to jump in and probably die. But that's alright. That's the way she goes. See, there's a spawn delay right now, but it's very, very minor. I mean, 8-second spawn delay is not bad. I mean, I've seen up to 90-second spawn delays. Usually that's when it's fairly one-sided, you know. But in this case, pretty even. Just do a quick explanation of what I see here in the map. That's friendly that died. All the blue tags are friendly forces that aren't in a squad. If they were a white icon of a little dude like that, hiding underneath that blue one, that's he's in my, Corey, he's in my squad. So if I wanted to team up with him, I could just go follow him. The red marks here are reports. They're not actually where the enemy is, unless the enemy moved there and didn't move, but they're where they were last spotted, and they're actually placed by players, not by simply looking at the person and saying they spot them, but they have to right click. So I'd have to right click on the map, add report, choose what kind of thing I saw. Is it infantry? Is it armor? Is it a truck? Is it an enemy gun? Whatever it might be. Enemy presence, danger. Maybe there's a enemy gun trap there, but you don't know exactly where it is, so you just mark danger because maybe you died there. You can even put a little note in here as to what you saw, what you know to be there. So that's very helpful. I mean, if you see his tank and you mark him, much better chance that it's going to die than if you hadn't marked it and just let your buddies get killed, because a lot of times people don't always keep their eyes and their ears open. They just look for marks. So, and marks, I gotta say, are incredibly beneficial. There's some one of my buddies just died in this CP over here, so I'm gonna go and see what the deal is and see if I can help him out. Was he in this house? Whoops. I'm not sure. Oh, it's back there. Essentially, the enemy are trying to capture those buildings, those big tall buildings in front of me there. And next to the building, that little depot, we call them, is usually what you have to capture in order to get one of those buildings. And depending on, here, I'm just going to hide here, and I'll show you an example of what I mean. So let's say this is the building that they can spawn from, depending on the situation. And this is the building that you would have to capture that building, which I'm in right now. Now here's the example. So here's Enghien here. They have the forward base, and there should be a depot that is connected to Enghien Depot. Hal Enghien. So, if I'm not mistaken, if they capture this big building, which by going into this small building, and this little timer in the bottom right here will go slowly across until you capture it. Once it's captured, the enemy can spawn directly in that building. Basically, it's in the game they call it the spawnable, meaning that the enemy can now spawn directly into the town. They don't have to travel from, like, run from a truck. Like, usually this is what they call a through. So the enemy will take their truck and from their forward base, which is right here, drive it as close to the town as they can, because there is a limit to how close you can be to the town before you're not allowed to place your through. They'll place their through, and then they'll run infantry into the town, trying to capture the spawnable, or even trying to capture our spawnables. So say they wanted to make sure that we couldn't spawn in the spawnable from Waterloo. I think there should be like a Waterloo one here. No, it's Brussels. Or Brussels. Yeah, Brussels, which is not owned by us. So they're trying to capture, I would imagine they're trying to capture either the Brussels depot or the Enghien depot, or possibly even, that's it. That's all they have that's connected, it looks like. So if they capture either of those, there's a good chance that they'll be able to spawn directly in the town, making it much more difficult to stop them, because then they'll flood this little depot, making sure we can't capture it back, and create a foothold. Basically, that's their beachhead into the town. Then they start flooding the town from there. The objective is to capture all of the depots, including the city, and then capture the army base. Generally, you capture all the depots, and then there's a timer that goes off on the army base, and if they wait the timer out, then they go in there, they wait in there, and they fill that thing full of troops, and then they capture it. And also prevent us from recapturing their other depots. But the main objective is to capture that army base as the final objective. Some army bases are better guarded than others. This one's fairly open. There's no walls. They can just kind of run through the town. And some of them are designed a little bit different than others. But essentially the idea is you want to come into the town, get your spawnable, basically whatever one of these little depots is attached to your owned town. So they own this town. So that's, and they own Brussels as well. So I'm assuming that, and they own the forward base, which I think is critical to that as well. And then they try to get this Brussels depot, and they got themselves a foothold in the town, and they can start flooding the town with troops, and not have to run through a gauntlet, of tanks or whatever else defenses we have to stop them. They can just appear in the town. So, and I died because I was looking at the map. I heard the footsteps and I couldn't get out in time. But that's alright. So they're actually trying to cap the Brussels spawnable now, as I predicted. So I'm gonna grab no SMGs left. Maybe I'll grab a little 232 and see if I can find that through where those infantry are coming out of. You stop the through, then you stop them. This is a little 232 scout car. I love this little thing. It's terribly, it's really not very well armored. Its armor is pretty terrible, but it makes up for that in its speed. Not sure what shot me there. I don't care. I know these guys have a furrow here. There's no way they don't. I'll switch to high explosive rounds and my main gun. And let that load as I cruise around. Try to find me a fruit. There has to be one. I mean, that guy didn't just come from nowhere. He might not be here, but it's always a good idea to look around. Can't hurt. And it can be pretty sneaky. I see they marked a truck to the northeast of those two depots on the west there. So I'm going to check that out. I'm just going to do a little sweep here. Make sure there's nobody hiding. Oh, there's an infantry running right now. I know it's probably hard to see, but he's dead now, though. I was gonna load this at a higher quality, but I didn't expect to actually play. But I can't help myself. See, there is a furrow out here. I was right. Now it's just a matter of finding it. And what I'm looking for is a stack of boxes. A stack of boxes, for some reason, represents the ability for the enemy to spawn. And I'm assuming it's probably right over here. I would look with my commander, but I know he'd just get shot, so I'm just gonna cruise around a little bit until I run into it. It's usually a good strategy. Oh. I just ran that guy over. So that was pretty sweet. So they might have either been moving their FRU or putting up a fresh one. I'm not sure which, but I'm not sure if I ran that guy over. It's possible. I'm going to do another little sweep to make sure I didn't miss him. It's possible. think I might have squished him. If not, then he narrowly got away. I'm going to continue a sweep over here just because, yeah, they're sneaky. Sometimes they'll put the fruits real far away and then they'll move them closer as they feel safe. I'm hoping that's what they were doing when I killed him. But the fruit still might exist out here, so... just going to do another little sweep to make sure. I think there probably is multiple fruits out here. I mean, that's usually what they do. The more fruits, the better. Better chance they won't all be found. I just really hope I don't run into an enemy tank, because this thing is couldn't take any hits from tanks. One shot and you're dead, basically. But it's great for killing trucks, and that's what I'm out here to do. So that's what's nice about this vehicle. It's nice and fast. You can cruise around. I'm not even going full speed, but I find when you're going full speed, it gets a little unstable. It's a fairly narrow wheelbase, so new players flip these over quite often. They used to be harder to drive. I think they might have made it a little bit easier. And I'm just checking these tree lines. Checking them as I go. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to go double check my original area there. Whoa, little ramp. Those you got to hit nice and square. If you hit those on an angle, good luck to you. You're probably going to flip it. Probably going to flip it. So far, it looks like the town's a little bit cleaned up. Hopefully, that infantry that killed me, somebody killed him. But that's the thing. It's like, do you just keep fighting off the individual infantry, or do you get into a vehicle and go out there and take care of the source of the infantry? That's generally the way I do it. I mean, guarding CPs, capture points, and depots and all that. This is great. It's a must. It's a need to do thing. You got to do it. I mean, it's critical to keeping your town, but having someone driving out here killing Frus is just as critical. Makes for a good deterrent, you know. If the enemy know you're just going to hunker into the town and not go out and try to stop them, and that's usually how the escalation starts. You know, it starts with infantry, then they bring in the tanks, because we start bringing out the 232s, so they surround the town with tanks, if they can. And then they deploy their things, their Frus, and then we have a really hard time killing them if they have tanks guarding them. So that's the common strategy. And that, I mean, that's the whole gig, right? Infantry, they're tanks to support the infantry. Tanks are basically just there to protect the fruits, make sure the infantry keep pouring into the town. Apparently there's still infantry here. So I'm not sure where they're coming from. Can I fit? Can I fit? Can I fit? No. Oh my god, there's infantry behind me. Got him. Try to bazooka me, eh, bud? Not today, Buttercup. He did hit me, though. So I don't know where these guys are coming from. But they're definitely still streaming into this town. They must not have found their through. Just means I need to look around some more, doesn't it? Relafi audio south, which means a truck has been heard to the south. So I'm gonna go check that out. And that's what's, I guess I was a little bit confused. I found that I looked around in the south, but didn't see anything. But that's the trick, right? You know, you go, you search an area, then they put their through in that area. So you think you checked it thoroughly, but in reality you didn't. So they're defending that town pretty well. Just gonna keep hunting for the source. It's pretty awesome I killed that bazooka guy, because oh man, I can't believe he didn't kill me. The trick is just keep moving. Just keep moving. At least you stand a chance. And see what I was trying to do is trying to turn my turret so it would be backwards, but then I didn't realize my turret was already facing to the left. I had to spin it around to the right and then go alongside the, you know, and either way, it worked out. It worked out. Oh, engine dead. Oh! I must have been on fire from, I must have had a fuel leak. He must have hit me and caused a fuel leak, and my engine got hot and killed me. Pretty funny stuff. Yeah, they're very, very shitty vehicles. Can't believe the armor on them is just so bad. That's alright. that, Mr. Truck. Yeah, I got him. Grab this mag. Get a fresh one. I really don't know why that guy did that. I'm thinking he made it through over here, and then these guys are checking shit out though, so looks like we're okay here. I'll just keep doing a couple more sweeps. I don't mind. I don't mind shooting people. I don't mind one bit. Uh-oh. Enemy forces have captured a facility. That's the thing, it's hard to find where they're, pinpoint where they're coming from. I mean, they hide their fruits really, really well. And there's always a chance they just put a new one up. Because if you don't kill the mission leader, they can put a new one up. There is a timer to put new ones up, but a patient person, it's not that long, really. These are tough. There's tree lines that run into berms and stuff like that to make for a lot of hiding spots. Oh, and this crap. Lots of good hiding spots in here. They're very determined allies. They just keep sending more trucks, more infantry, more trucks. It doesn't seem like a very powerful attack that they're doing, but sometimes consistency is all you need. Just whittle us down. now we got EI in the bunker. Just do a quick look around here. Nothing. There he is. And he got his fruit. Lots of trucks today. Like armor reported on the road, so I'm going to try not to get myself killed by it. But it doesn't have to be much to kill me. It could be just a little tank. It doesn't matter what it is, it could kill me. Even their armored cars can kick my butt pretty bad. So, just cruise along. Let's see if I can kill one of these trucks respawning. Just following the marks right now. Oh, I saw something happen ahead. tank shooting. So it tells me to get the hell out of here. Or maybe flank it. I'd almost rather just go back and get another tank. It's a little better at this job. Or not better at this job, better at the job that I want to kill that tank. Over here. See if I can kill him before he even knows to look out for me. Haha! Didn't expect that, did you, bud? Now get the hell out of here, because that tank's gonna come for me. That was great. He didn't expect that at all. He's like, oh, I'm safe. There's tanks around. Oh, shit. Let's see what we got here. This is a squad member in a Panzer III. That's great. That's great. I'm going to get in there and see what I can do. Oh, we're out of high explosive rounds. That's okay. I can still kill trucks with AP rounds. AP armor piercing. So it's a little overkill, but I mean, high explosives are nice because they'll blow tires off, you know, disable the truck. There's AP, you kind of gotta hit the vitals, but it's fine. It's fine. A little brave here, a little too brave. Probably get myself killed, but maybe that'll be. Oh crap! Oh, I just ran that guy over. Someone's shooting me. I think they have a fru out here. They didn't even kill my they didn't even kill my commander. That's great. Eat that, bucko, buddios. Boyos, buckos, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Don't hit a tree, Dave. Don't hit a tree! Don't do it. Too busy looking around. Probably have a fuel leak again and die. But what's fun about living? It's what kills you that makes life fun, right? saw that anti-tank rifle, I'm like, yep, he's getting run over. I hope I ran him over. Oh, hello. I see something in the distance. Is it what I think it is? Is it what I think it is? Yep. This is friendly. Can AP kill fruits? Yeah, it is. I just thought maybe for some reason AP wouldn't kill fruit, but I think it will. I know it looked like it had the German sign on the side of the fruit, but I don't trust that. I just thought I seen the German colors on the side of a fruit, shot it, and it disappeared one time, and so I don't take chances. Still getting reports of enemy infantry in the town, even though we've been through hunting left and right. Oh, hello, that's why. That looks not friendly. I might not be able to kill it. German as well. I know, I'm an idiot. That's okay. Almost out of ammo, so I think we'll just return to base on this one. Got some kills, managed to not die. Kind of give you a little quick tutorial on the game. And yeah, I'm pleased with that. I might just return to base and end this here. End it on a good note. That's what I like to do. Green tag, so always good to see new players in the game. Hello, Mr. Green Tag. New players are the bread and butter of this game. Well, actually, the bread and butter is the people who've been playing forever, but honestly, it's great to have new people. It's always good to have new people. This is fine. This is good enough. But I can do a little quick recap. Yeah, we're holding this town quite well. Looks like there's some anti-tank guns in the tree up there. So glad I didn't do that. I might grab another vehicle, but I have a feeling it's going to go downhill from here. Because that was pretty good. I died once, and that was a fluke of a death. I mean, a leaking fuel tank. Must have got some of the gas on my engine or something. I'm not sure. And I found it funny, though, that my engine died, and then I died. You know, you'd think, but I don't know. You never know. Leaking fuel, you know, it gets crazy. So I got 2 truck kills, not 3, so he must have been barely alive when he left the game. That's why I like to fill them full of holes, to make sure they're dead. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. Maybe I'll grab another one and come back, take a break for a minute, grab something to drink. But thanks for watching, and you know, I wasn't going to do, you know, a long explanation type video like this, but because I don't know, I always get into the mentality that people just know. You know, if you're going to watch these videos, you know, but it's not always true. I mean, people that are new to the game and are interested in playing the game, trying to see what the whole thing is about. I mean, the main thing I just wanted to stress too is that, I mean, this map is Europe at half scale in one server. I mean, there is an Asian server, just so there's not like huge latency issues. But basically, if you live in North America or Europe, you'd be playing on this server, and I think it's awesome. You know, it condenses all the player base, and it allows the high command to be a small, well, reasonably small group of individuals that oversee the operations of the entire war effort. You know, and really to get in the high command isn't a big feat. It's just a matter of dedication. If you're very dedicated to this game and you want to put time, energy into this game, and be willing to, you know, hand out orders and take them from your superiors, and you know, try to work together. And that's awesome. I mean, it's nice that some the squads are kind of integrated into the hierarchy of the game, but it's not forced. So, like, if there's a high command guy in my squad, and he's also a higher rank guy in my squad, the interests of the squad are different than the interests of the high command. They often sync up and are the same, but they're not always the same. So we might be doing something different than the high command needs, but usually we try to tie it in together, because generally if there's the high command kind of organizes everything. Like, for instance, one map, I think this was one map ago, we were doing some really cool Black Ops missions down here in I can usually see here, theater map. There we go. We were in Breskin, and what we're doing is we're stealing towns, but in order to do that, you have to have an AO, and an AO is an area of operation, generally based on players, how many players are in the game. So if there's always one AO, if there's almost always one AO, but sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's even 3, but it's usually based on player count. Just so you don't have wasted, you know, like efforts in certain places. You want to control the masses and focus them into the areas that you need them. So there was some battling going on over in where was it? It was in Namur. Right here, Namur. We were trying to capture Namur, and so the masses were being sent there. Basically everybody, most of the other squads were all fighting in Namur, and they also wanted Profonville to help with the assault. So they were trying to capture Namur, but we didn't own Profonville. But we want to do our little Black Ops mission back here. So what we did was, they would give us an AO in the town that we were set up for. We would move into that town, capture that town. Right when they captured that town, they would take that AO, slap it on another town that they wanted. So Fonville. While we're going to say set up for, say, Ghent, because that's actually one of the towns we captured, we would start positioning our attack force. And what we're doing was really neat, because we're taking naval units in trucks and trucking them down the old-fashioned way. We weren't using FRUs, we weren't using forward bases, none of that. It was basically a one-shot deal. If you die, you're dead. There's no way to get you back into the action. So it was very critical that we marked where all the artificial intelligence pits were. There's a couple little machine gun pits around here that you got to watch out for. Machine gun towers, certain bridges like this middle bridge here next to the city. The Ghent CP is incredibly well defended. You definitely don't want to be running across that bridge. So we had it all worked out where we had teams of 3. We had a north team, northeast team, east team, we had a south team, we had a west team. And these teams would separate and start capturing at different facilities at different times. So we'd have like the south dock and the north dock being captured at the same time. We'd have this east dock being captured. We'd have all these different facilities being captured simultaneously so that we could capture it quickly and effectively and efficiently before the enemy could move in, or maybe even notice that we were there. So we managed to, and also, if they decided to pull forces to go defend Ghent, they would be pulling them away from the major battles happening in Namur, which I lost it again. There it is, in Namur. So they would give us, as soon as the second we captured Perfonville, it was perfect timing. We were just setting up in Ghent. We were basically walking into the CPs as they gave us our AO on Ghent. Boom, AO on Ghent allows us to start capturing. We start capturing. As soon as we captured Ghent, and which we did, was fantastic, 10-15 minutes tops, this is a big town to capture in 10 or 15 minutes. It takes really good teamwork of everyone splitting up into their groups and not getting killed, and it worked out great. We captured the whole town. Boom, they ripped the AO off that, they threw it somewhere else where they needed it. It was a really good teamwork between squad and high command. I thought that was really neat how the high command didn't really want us necessarily doing this, but they figured, you know what, if you can do it and it's not going to hinder the frontline battles, go for it. If you can make it work, make it work. And we did, and we looked like heroes that day, and it was really cool. So having that overall high command structure is really cool. It's combining a first-person shooter with a real-time strategy, and there's not a whole lot of games that I can think of that can offer that. And such a huge map as well. Like if you actually want to drive from one town to another in a tank, even on the road, maybe 15-20 minutes, I'm guessing, maybe something like that. And that's on the road. That's full speed, highest gear, maxing it out on the road. So you can imagine how long it would take to go off-road, and that's why they put in these forward bases. And I'll just quickly explain a forward base, just because I'm here. Go to the brigade roster. I can do a theater map. So Hal, back to Hal. We actually captured the Angheim forward base. Remember I said before they had the forward base, and that was a town, and they were going to capture the Hal Angheim depot to make it their spawn, their spawnable. Yep, they're spawnable. So we must have, somebody must have sent some guys in there, blew it up, and now it's ours. So instead of having to travel your tanks and trucks and everything down the road or across the open fields to get to Angheim, we could actually stage an attack from this position. And that's why it's called a forward base, because it is much more forward than the town that you'd be attacking from. And every forward base is set up in the same way. You have a vehicle spawn and an infantry spawn. And you would take an infantry engineer, put satchel charges, I think it's 4 on the infantry, maybe, or it might even be 6 or 7 on infantry, and I think it requires 4 on the vehicle. So you can blow those up, and once you blow them up, they change hands. So you might even be able to see. Sometimes you can see where the allied one is. There it is. So the allied one is it's not actually there. If you were to drive there right now, this wouldn't be here. these structures, but it's just a representation to show you where it would be if they captured it. So a lot of times what people will do is, let's say you knew you were going to lose your fort base, like you didn't have adequate defense, or maybe it's got one hit left on it, and there's going to be one sneaky little guy who gets in there and blows your fort base. Or maybe you even set it up so that you let them blow your forward base because there's going to be an incoming attack. So what you do is you roll some tanks out and you camp them around their forward base. You just have a nice little camp party ready for them to spawn. As soon as they spawn, you start blowing them away. And that's basically spawn camping 101. You let them capture your forward base knowing that they're going to be spawning here. Set up a nice little pre-camp and blow them away the second they spawn. I notice the Axis side, our side, doesn't do that as much. Allies love that strategy because they're not always, but they're usually, in the last few maps, have been on the defense. So they know they're going to be losing forward bases, and if they lose a forward base, they'll set up a pre-camp on ours, kind of get that initial kills in, and then if they lose those, then they just start defending the town. But yeah, so that's basically just kind of the basics. I mean, it goes on from there. It gets more complex, but that's mostly the basics. Spawning forward bases, setting FRUs up with trucks around towns. Infantry can set up FRUs, and actually only mission leaders. So if you're the mission leader as an infantryman, you can set up those little FRU boxes. Or if you're a truck as a mission leader, you can also set up FRU boxes, allowing you to spawn. So sometimes you'll see defensive FRUs. So like in HAL, it's a good example. You notice that there was a box like way out in the field here, and it was ours. It wasn't the enemy's. And what that allows infantry to do is, let's say a tank was rolling down the road here, and he started setting up to camp our depots here. So our infantry just couldn't get in there to defend, and they got infantry pouring in. Well, if we had a FRU behind their line, we could spawn infantry right behind them, sneak up on those tanks, blow them up, get in that depot and start killing. Or maybe even go out and search for their FRUs and sneak attack them. So there's a lot of ways you can use FRUs to your advantage, either defensively by having them out in the field, ready for a wave of tanks to come in, and you can spawn infantry right next to them, blow them up, or have them on the offense, set them around the enemy town and capture it. A lot of neat strategies in this game, and that's not even including paratroopers, because paratroopers are pretty neat. Fill a plane full of them and meat bomb them. Meat bombing them on the towns. They usually get shot up, but it's a lot of fun. But okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. I think it's covered all the basics. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.